As it relates to the darker practices that we're seeing now during our modern times, I'm sure a lot of it has to do also with the access of information. There's a lot more younger people dabbling
Right.
in some of these occult magical practices. But what are some of the things that you've noticed that are resurging during this time?
Yeah, totally. Well, I think the big thing is that Wicca has kind of evolved in this really interesting way. From 1950s until today, there's been a lot of kind of decharacterization of the original tenets of Wicca, which was first, do ye no harm. And now these days, that's not really a thing. If you go on to the Instagram and TikTok witches pages and stuff like that, and you take a look at it, they commonly have memes that are like, me when I first got into magic, and it's like somebody, praying for healing and casting spells for healing and rejuvenation, better sleep and, very innocent things. And then after a while, the next section of that meme will be like a woman dressed in black with like eyes rolled in the back of her head, doing weird summoning magic in order to cast entities upon the enemies of that individual and other things like that. And you'll see very frequently memes that are very much so like that. And you'll also read a lot of things where people are talking about stuff like that. Cursing, hexing, jinxes, psychic attack, the evil eye, different things like that are definitely far more prevalent now than I think I've ever seen them ever before. And I've been tracking these things for over 20 years. So I think a lot of it too is that Christianity in a lot of its capacity has lost its appeal and stopped speaking to the younger audiences in a lot of ways. And so as they do that, they start turning towards what they would refer to as like the old ways. And you get into, without having a very good historical context of really what the old ways are, because, Wicca is not the old ways. Wicca is like 1950s ways, okay? It's about as old as your grandpa, maybe as old as your father, whatever. It's really not that old. But they end up getting into these types of things thinking that these are older ways and serving, other gods or other entities.